Hello and welcome to Someday Models. My name is Tom and I have a large stack of second-hand vintage model kits sitting around in my cupboard that I have big plans to build and paint someday. Today, however, we will be taking a look at this vintage Hasegawa Focke-Wulf Fw-190D German Air Force fighter. I actually have 3 copies of this kit in different states of tatty, busted up box. And speaking about the box, it does have some really nice artwork, including a lovely profile picture here. And of course the obligatory adverts for others in the same series. I think I might have a couple of them as well. This is a second-hand vintage kit. It has been opened before, and as you can see, some of the parts have fallen off the sprues. I believe all the parts are present. So let's have a look and see what we have. Let's have a look at the transfers. The Decals or Decals or Decals or Decals or however you want to pronounce it. They look really nice. Crisp. They don't seem to be off. Film seems to be whole. I can't see any cracks or spots or anything. And they are original. Now the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say, so we don't know if these decals will hold up until we actually try them, which will be a later video. We should remember that this kit is close to 50 years old, and considering that, the clear parts are pretty clear. They're not yellowed at all. They might need a little polish, but I think they'll be fine. Now then, let's see if all the parts actually are present. There's one more bit there. There we go. That sprue seems to be complete. Very nice. Let's see the next sprue then. This one's missing a single part. That's the little pilot. Yep, that's also complete. And the third sprue is complete. Very nice. Right, the instructions. Let's just have a quick look. If you want to see closer, feel free to pause the video. This is your typical 70s Hasegawa instruction, translated into English. I expect it's translated into English because there are some strange wordings here and there. Time for the close-up. We've got the few parts left on this sprue. As you can see, there are some nice detail, not too much. Quite shiny plastic. I can't really see much flash, so it looks quite nice. Got just a couple of teeny tiny pieces there. Right then, the side of the plane. Let's see if we can catch the detail. There's some flash. There's a bit of flash here and there. Couple of bits from the sprue which has a broken off, a bit more flash, but it's very little considering the age of the kit. I think this is very nice. Nothing a sharp knife can't deal with, maybe a file. Let's see if we can catch some of the detail in the reflected light. Now this, let's see, is the other part. It's got the tail wheel already moulded onto the part. There comes a bit of flash. I think one of them might be some sort of light or something. I don't actually know. I'll have to check what that is. I'm trying to see if we can catch some of the detail in the light here. That's not that easy. And then the propeller. Quite nice. Nothing much to see. The little pilot man. For some reason, they're always so difficult to get a proper picture of. Let's try without the bright light. Maybe the shadows will be easier. You can see it's got a hole in his stomach. Ah, there we go. There you are, little man. There you are. Actually quite nicely detailed. And as we see, he has got quite a pronounced hole where his stomach should be. Really difficult to get a proper shadows on the details so we can see it properly. There we are. And of course a massive hole in his backside as well. There he is. He's going to make a fine little pilot. Right then, the second sprue. It's got quite nice detail. See if we can catch some of it in the light. The detail is actually, the panel lines rather, are recessed and not raised on this kit, which still baffles me as it's so old. It must be one of the earliest ones where they actually did that. You can see all the parts are in place. There's a bit of very fine flash around the edges. And we've got some ejection pin marks, or whatever they're called, there. That's from the pins that push the swarm sprue out of the machine right after it's been cast. And those pins press into the plastic and leave those marks. Now, as they're all on the inside, they don't matter at all unless they go to the outside. Doesn't seem like they do that here. Very nice detail for such a small scale kit. Now, I haven't actually built any scale models at all since I was a teenager several decades ago. Well, I have been doing some fantasy war games. That's not quite the same as scale models, is it? So I'm actually getting back into the hobby, as it were. Still, I do remember Hasegawa having some very nice kits back in the day. I think this is a very good example of one. Right, the third and last sprue. A couple of struts, a drop tank, a bomb, and some whatever they are. Inside the cockpit, perhaps? They're quite nicely moulded. Got little guiding holes and pins. Yeah, they're nice. So here's the entire set. Everything you get in the box, or rather, everything I got in the box. These details are quite nice. At least, I think so. Especially seeing as it's so old. I wouldn't be surprised if Hasegawa was an industry leader in that regard at the time. But I don't really know. Maybe modern kits are different. Much more detailed than this again. I haven't really bought any new modern kits, so I don't really know how the details compare to them. Maybe I should go out and buy myself some and see. Please comment below which kits I should go looking for, preferably 1:72 scale, so that I can compare them with these older ones. Well, anyway, the kit really looks good. We don't know how it is until we build it, do we? Maybe none of the parts fit. So there we have it. The contents of the late 1970s Hasegawa Hales Focke-Wulf Fw-190D in 1:72 scale. A kit from my second-hand vintage model kit collection. Like all the other models in my collection, I am going to build and paint it. Someday. Would you like me to make a build video of this model? Help increase the odds of this thing ever being built? The more subscribers, the more likely I will give it a go. A bit of history here at the end. The Focke-Wulf Fw-190D9 was nicknamed Langnasen Dora after the German call sign for the letter D, which in Royal Air Force lingo would be long-nosed dog, or in US military lingo would be something like long-nosed Delta or Delta Niner. The plane was a German response to the need for a high-altitude interceptor to go after the increasingly massive formations of bombers that the Allies sent over Europe in the second half of the war. The Dora was a development of the Fw-190A that was so successful in the first part of the war, and Dora appeared in 1943, with mass production models being delivered from 1944. The Dora had a longer nose and tail than the other Fw-190 variants, and wide propeller blades to cope with the thinner air at high altitudes. Somewhat ironically, it seems that there were not that many bombers shot down by this aircraft, as there was a focus on fighter-to-fighter combat, and in that capacity the Dora was considered a match for the model we are looking at next time, the North American P-51D Mustang, also from the Hasegawa Hales lineup of the late 70s. If you think it might be interesting to see how the kits compare with each other, make sure to subscribe to Someday Models. See you next time.